The Survivors is brought to you by our friends at the HelpHUB. This podcast mentions suicide, mental illness, grief, and loss, and may be triggering for some listeners. So please take care of your mental well-being by pausing or skipping any sections that feel uncomfortable to you. And if you or someone you know is struggling, please call 988 for support. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
I was using my sexy voice. I don't know why.
Are you drinking from your cup?
Of course I'm drinking from my cup. Cheers.
Beautiful.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Wait.
Sorry.
Let me turn around. Clink. Yes.
Shameless plug. So it's National Wellness Month, G.
It sure is.
And guess what we're not going to talk as much about today?
Suicide?
No.
Oh.
You got to get your head in the game right now. No. I was going to say
football?
We're not talking about spa days and juicing and see what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm a little slow. Okay.
That's all right. It's all right. This is about sustainable mental, emotional, physical wellness. That's what we're going to talk about. Wow, that was funny. That was actually really funny. We're talking about the kind of wellness that keeps you going when life feels very heavy.
Yes.
And I feel like life is feeling very heavy for most every single person who I talk to these days.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
We won't get into it because we never do, but politically and lots of shared trauma that I feel like we are all watching on television and somehow internalizing, and all the normal day-to-day things that everybody worries about as humans anyway, but things just feel heavy. So I'm glad we can talk in terms of National Wellness Month to talk about what to do about that.
Yeah, things are very heavy right now. Very, very, very heavy. And for me, some of the practices that I started and that I think will help other people, not just in this month, but in every single day of your life. Start your morning with being grateful. A gratitude practice is so good for your health, both physically and mentally.
I want to do an exercise with you and everybody else who's listening. And I know for a fact that I have not made this comment at all this season, and I may have made it once last season, but I'm not sure. So when you are in a state of gratitude and you are actively thinking about someone or something that you are grateful for, would you agree that it's impossible in that moment, whether it's 10 seconds, 30 seconds, if you can do it for a minute, whatever it is, you cannot feel any negativity if you are in a moment of gratitude?
Oh, I believe that. I believe that 100%. Every morning for me, my mornings start with a 20-minute funny video because I need the laughter to kind of break up the cortisol in my stomach. But then right after that, I say what I'm grateful for. And I've been doing that every day since January 20th. And it's made a huge difference. Like, I'm grateful for so many things, and gratitude goes a long way.
It does. It absolutely does. And it's hard to put something like gratitude alongside something like grief or struggle, because if you're grieving or you're struggling or you're trying to support someone who is, it's often like wellness itself can feel really impossible. Feeling gratitude can feel really impossible to do, but it's not. It's not impossible. And the amount that you do it is entirely up to you. Maybe you've lost someone you love and you can only muster up like a second or two of flashing to a sweet memory with that person, or listening to them say, I love you, or thinking about something meaningful that they've said. Like, it works.
And even on your hardest days, like for me, starting on December 26th, the thing I was grateful for is that I'm still here fighting. Those are things to be grateful for because, man, life gets hard. Really, really hard.
It does, which is why wellness is so foundational. And obviously, when we're thinking in terms of National Wellness Month, which August is National Wellness Month, we think about things like physical health, which obviously is so very important, spiritual health, we think about mental, emotional health. They are all important, and it doesn't have to be fancy, the foundation that we create for ourselves. It can be exactly like you said, it can be a matter of a few simple practices that just suit you in starting your day. I mean, for me, it looks like getting up out of bed every morning, and the first thing I do, you've been to my house because you came and visited me this summer, so
It did.
you saw where I meditate every day upstairs on that big square bolster pillow, and that's how I start my day, with intention, so that even when I know my days will get absolutely insane and I'll be on calls and we'll be doing tapings and I'll be writing, whatever it is, I know that I have those moments of calm that I can kind of refer back to in my mind for reference and remember what those moments of calm felt like
Yeah.
for a second,
Yeah.
even if I can't get any more. And here are the things that people don't even think could be foundational. Every morning, you didn't see me do this because you weren't awake yet, but every morning I have my protein powder. It's fruit punch. It's like a fruit punch with protein in it. And I drink my fluids and I have my collagen in my coffee. And I sit down with my journal for 5 or 10 minutes. And I do a meditation. And maybe it's 30 seconds, maybe it's 2 minutes. Maybe I'm lucky and I get 5 minutes. Those are the things that I do, but when you do those things on the regular every day, that is wellness. That's wellness.
It is. And, like, other things you can do for wellness are, like, maybe you're working, but take time out of the day to get outside for a little bit. Turn your screen off on your phone. Just have a mindful moment to yourself makes so much difference.
It does, and doing all of the things that we've just been sharing. I mean, these are things that you and I have shared before in other episodes in different contexts. But when we're talking about things like grieving, in particular grieving something as heavy and as impossible as suicide, which this is what we talk about. This is what you and I focus on most of the time. That mind body connection is so powerful. And our nervous system, when we're grieving, especially when we're grieving that way, is under constant stress. And we don't think about it. It shows up in our bodies. Our muscles are tight. We have headaches, maybe. We are fatigued. How you just feel like, oh, I can't get out of bed, or everything seems heavy and hard. Maybe you can't sleep. There are things that even someone who is in the thick of grief can do to help themselves. They can do breath work. I never believed in it before. Even just it's 4-7-8. Have you ever heard of the 4-7-8 technique? There's like
I sure have.
box breathing. Okay, so
Box breathing.
inhale for 4, count of 4, then you hold it for 7 seconds, and then you exhale it for 8 seconds. And it's super duper simple, but it grounds you and it regulates you. And even when we're in our most stressful moments, something as simple as that can bring us back down to that plateau where we wanna be.
So, you know what's funny, but it's not really funny. So, I have a
But we're calling it funny.
we're gonna call it funny. So, I have a VR headset, and there is a mindfulness app on the headset, and it walks you all through box breathing and relaxation. So, and for me, I use it at night before I go to sleep because it does, like, a little relaxation, like a wave kinda thing, or, I did another one that was like a kaleidoscope, and then it walks through breathing exercises, and it really helps me sleep better at night because it takes all the bad energy out, and I'm focused on that one thing is just going to sleep.
Yeah, and that's so powerful because we don't often consider how much our sleep helps us or lack of sleep hurts us. And when we're talking about overall wellness, that's a huge pillar. It's not just about how much we hydrate or how much we move our body or how well we fuel ourselves. It's also about how well we shut down and how well we sleep so that everything can get rebuilt and regenerated and repaired. And I know for me, I mean, we talk about this, you and I offline all the time. The fact that I sleep like 2 or 3 hours a night, and it is not for lack of trying. And I absolutely know that if I could somehow find a way to do better with my sleep, I just feel like that's the missing link for me with a lot of my own wellness. But look, I'm trying. What can I tell you? I'm doing everything I can do. Maybe I need your VR headset.
Well, for me, I didn't think it would be helpful, but after I started using it 5 nights in a row, I did notice I started sleeping better. But I also take gummies to help me sleep because I'm tired of waking up in pain.
That's self-care.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are wellness habits. I think that a big part of creating these kinds of habits for ourselves is doing it without the pressure. We tend to think, oh, I have to do all the things. I have to check off all the boxes. I have to do all the jumping jacks and drink all the fluids and journal all the pages and no, it's not like that. For some people, doing an all or nothing works. For the majority of people, I feel like that doesn't really work. That's how people get burnt out and overwhelmed. So pick a habit, pick an anchor habit to work on during wellness month. Just maybe it's you and I are both big journalers. Maybe we journal, maybe you set a timer and you journal for 3 minutes. Maybe you're in the shower and you're just practicing your 4-7-8 breathing techniques while you're already doing something else. You're in the shower getting clean. The point is that it's not about creating perfect, inflexible habits. It's not about that at all. It's just about giving yourself what you need to be able to stay calm when you need to stay calm, to be able to persevere when you need to forge ahead. It's all those things. And that's the essence of National Wellness Month. It's teaching yourself how to give yourself what you need when you need it. And that can mean physically or emotionally when you're grieving. It can mean in all the different ways. Struggling with your mental health, feeling lost, overwhelmed, or just alone? Well, you're not. Welcome to the HelpHUB, your online destination for mental health resources, content, and tools to help you navigate whatever mental health challenges you're facing in the moment. At the HelpHUB, we offer individualized resources tailored to your unique needs and community, with over 16 different categories to find exactly the kind of personalized help you need when you need it most. Because even though we all deal with many of the same challenges, we don't always experience those challenges the same way. So whether you're looking for crisis support, downloadable resources, or an extensive archive of mental health-related articles and videos, we've got you. From episodes of the Survivors podcast for suicide loss survivors and lived experience blogs to interactive tools and professional connections, the HelpHUB meets you where you are and helps you move forward with strength and support. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. Visit thehelphub.co today.
Another thing you can do too is if you live in a place where you can get out in nature, nature will help you with your mental wellness and just healthy and breathe some fresh air. Get
Yep.
outside, breathe some fresh air. Most of us are staring at a computer screen every day. Get some fresh air.
Yeah. The point is, every single one of us deserves to take care of ourselves, not just when things are good. It's really to be able to take care of ourselves when things aren't good. That's the point of building these habits and practices. It's so that we can be okay when we're not in a position of being okay.
it I love all these. So another thing that you can do is to start making those connections again, reaching out to somebody once a day. It could be a call, it could be a text. It could just say hello to somebody as you're walking into the store. I know a lot of people don't do that anymore. I do. I like to make people smile, and just saying, "Hey, how are you doing today?" or "Hey, good afternoon." Or if you go into a store, everybody wears name tags. Say their names. You have no idea how much that just boosts the serotonin. Like, oh, somebody said my name, and they're not yelling at me. Connection is huge. Not just during National Wellness Month, but every day. Make some connection. Talk to people.
Yeah, and also too, like you're saying, talk to people, but I'm also thinking of it in a different way too. You can't pour from an empty cup philosophy. That I'm thinking of it from that perspective too. Wellness is not indulgent. It's not. It's protective. We have to be able to set boundaries, and maybe your wellness this month is about learning how to set boundaries so that you're taking care of you and you're saying yes to you and you're putting your priorities ahead of maybe the other people whose priorities you're considering most. Um,
Yeah. I think one other thing you could do too is I do this on Sundays. I do self care check ins for text. I just text people just to make sure that they're doing okay. If it's somebody I haven't heard from in a really long time, I make a cognizant effort to check in on people, but check in with them on them with a question that they actually have to answer.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
it goes back to the whole extroverted, like you ask us how we're doing, and we're going to tell you, oh, we're living the dream. In reality, we're probably not.
Right, right. Exactly. This does not have to be some revolutionary idea. It just has to be your own practices that help you to feel better in a more general, all around sense. It's just about learning how to get regulated, learning how to stay regulated. And like we already said, it doesn't have to be anything big, it just has to be consistent. And I think that that's the name of the game in terms of wellness, is just be consistent with the things that you're doing, because that's where change happens. And I'm talking even to now in your grieving. Consistently allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. If you don't feel good, be consistent about letting yourself not feel good, letting yourself sit in that. If you aren't feeling as deeply upset or emotional, go with that too. Maybe that's because you're in a different cycle right now emotionally. Let yourself feel that. It's so important to just be consistent about the way that you take care of yourself, because that's how you build a foundation. You don't build it when you're just ad hoc doing this, doing that, and there's no system behind what you're practicing.
And also give yourself permission to say no. No to things that they do not that just don't need your energy.
Yes, yes,
N-
yes,
n-
yes, yes, yes,
No
yes.
to activities that maybe it's something you just don't want to do. Give yourself it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
It really
It
is.
is. It is. It is. And it's so and that goes back to boundaries too. That's all I think rolled into that. And that's something you and I've talked about this. That's something that's fairly new to me. That's very, very new to me, is I'm going to call it the art of saying no. And it doesn't mean, when you say no to someone, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I'm not going to show up for you. It doesn't mean something else is more important than you. It just means that you're saying yes to yourself. And I did not internalize that for, I want to say, the first 50 years of my life. All I cared about was being that people pleaser. And let me tell you, as a little tip for Wellness Month, if you're listening and you're a people pleaser, that will deplete you faster than anything else that you will do in your life because now you're doing everything for somebody else and not for yourself.
So, so true. So another thing that y'all can do, and I practice this, and I don't just practice it during Wellness Month. I practice it once a week. Turn your phone off. Walk away from your computer. Stop watching TV, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes or an entire day. There will be days that I don't watch TV at all.
I love that. I remember when our girls were young, their school used to do this thing where they would have TV free week, which I absolutely loved. It was the best week of the year because we were outside, we were reading books, we were breaking out crayon boxes and doing all the things that you just wouldn't do because, you've got a device in your face or you're sitting in front of a screen. And amazing what it does when you focus on what's beyond the screen. Amazing how cathartic that is for your whole entire self and what level of wellness that puts you at.
I I just get joy out of, like, not seeing what's on Facebook or seeing what's on Instagram. So if I'm not, like, looking at my TV at the screen or at my computer or at anything, I can pay more attention to my wife. I can pay more attention to what's going on around me that's not digital. I grew up in an era where we didn't have cell phones. We had maybe 4 channels on the TV. I spent my childhood outside.
We had Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, 38 and 56, and that was it. So we were outside on the trails behind my house, and we would be outside until Billy Fallon's mom rang the cowbell that every night at 5:30. But this is about maintaining our wellness and understanding that things like mental and emotional and physical wellness are all connected and that we have to do things to support all of them. It's a Go ahead. I can see
So
you're itching to say something.
I am so like also give permission to be a kid again. That's so good for your mental health. Be a kid again. Go and play. Let me tell you, when you revert to your inner child and you don't give a care about anything else in the world but having fun, go do something that helps you bring some joy into your life because joy can actually help clear your head.
You're right. It absolutely can. And joy can also help us move through grief and through loss and through sadness, and that that ability to balance joy and grief. For those who are listening who are in the thick of it, who are like, I do not feel joyful, I will never feel joyful again, all I feel is sadness. We hear you, we see you, we totally understand. And at the same time, here's the thing: grief and joy, sadness and joy do somehow find their way back together again. And when you arrive in that place where you feel like, okay, I'm ready, I want to smile again, I want to laugh again, I want to do something silly, I want to be a kid, I want to go off and do something that makes me happy, that is the best thing in the world that you can do for yourself because you're worthy of that. You deserve that. And those little sparks of joy can be game changers in our overall wellness. So we can't ignore them.
Yeah, it don't just think of this month as the only month for wellness. Wellness is 365 days a year. It is making sure that you're physically sound and mentally sound, and that you're still trying to put one foot in front of the other. And even on my hardest days, I can still find joy in one thing. And for me, that has helped bring some clarity around some other things that are going in my life. but I always go back to joy and gratitude because they go hand in hand.
They absolutely do, and each one of us deserves that total wellness. Every single one of us does. On our best days, on our worst days, the messiest days, and all the days in between. We all deserve it. So the overarching message here is try and find those things that only we know what those things are that can keep us well. And once we find them, we have to stick with them because that's where overall wellness becomes a real thing.
Such a great conversation. Good things to remember.
Good things to remember. Hey, let's do it again next week.
All right. See you next week.
All right. Love you, G.
Love you, man. Bye. Thanks for joining us on The Survivors. Remember, no matter how tough things feel, you are enough, and the world needs you just the way you are. You're not alone in this journey. There's a community here, and every step forward counts. We're so grateful you took the time to listen, and we hope you'll take one day at a time. Just know there's always more light ahead.
Thanks for being here, friends. Just remember, help is out there in so many different places. So if you or someone you know is struggling, please call 988 and a trained crisis counselor like me will be there to help. You can also find an inclusive and comprehensive directory of mental health resources, tools, and content at thehelphub.co. Just remember that help is always just a call or a click away. We'll catch you next week. In the meantime, keep surviving.